everyone. Hello. My name is Boy. You can call me Scott. We're gonna play Blueprints. This is a re-recording of episode 30, and when I say re-recording, I mean there's a lost episode that just will never appear because when recording I forgot to do this and switch it over to the proper recording thing. So we're in the middle of a day. To recap it, this is frustrating. 30 minutes of recording just down the pooper. Down the pooper, spiraling downwards, never to be seen or heard from again or smelled again. We have here a busy place that we have built. It began the last this episode, but not with the explanation that this game is one that we've been playing for long enough. I want to actually beat it, so we're gonna play this game a bit more focusedly and try to actually get some stuff done. I'm trying new strategies where we really focus on filling up row at a time as best we can to build up our items, and it seems to be offering some benefits to us this time around, and so that's nice. So we're continuing with that, and we're trying to get ourselves items and stuff like that, and we're trying to work through, and we just got ourselves the lockpick, we have the shovel, we have the sledgehammer, and got a sound pick amplifier or whatever it's called, and we're trying to continue on with things. We have the tool shed, and we're just going to go on. And there we're caught up, and I'm doing my best to not spiral into a fit of despair over the fact that I just, like a complete and utter idiot, wasted a half hour of recording because I wasn't paying attention to the fact that I hadn't switched us over to the actual recording scene. So that's a fun thing that we can make fun of me for now, and I encourage you to do so because it is pure frustration. Losing half of our things doesn't seem very preferable, but this would be a dead end, and this we could at least go through and accomplish something here. Lose 10 things, which isn't great, but we can use our pick amplifier. And wonderful, we go through the trouble to create an item that's supposed to make it easier for us to pick locks, and it proceeds to do absolutely nothing of the sort for us. This is a wonderful turn of events, and we're all very pleased and happy with the situation. There's certainly no manic energy coming from me at this point in time. We have found no levers to try and access the antechamber, and all we have to gain from this is a pile of frustration and 30 minutes of lost recording. This is a great day for all of us, and we shall celebrate and be happy. And we still can't pick a lock, so the item has proved to be less useful than just the regular lockpick, which had a better recovery rate of things than anything else that we had. We can't afford that. This is great. This is a wonderful day. We can either get free steps, or we can take a chance. We'll take the free steps because we're getting low on those, as it were. And so we'll come in here and presumably find no items, because it would be very beneficial for us to find a few items in here. But this run seems to have decided that it wants to give me a whole slew of bad luck to punish me for having been a silly goose and not properly recorded. We see the captain's wheel, and we silently, in frustration and general punkiness, hope that it means that somewhere there's a ship captain who realizes that they're really in for it now because they just don't have any way to control their stupid ship. And we'll go here and we'll do some math. We have 7. And we have 7 plus, or 10 plus 2 is 12, plus 1, 13, plus that's 17. So we press 17. That was not it. That's okay. So 10, unless it's supposed to be the times. No, it's subtract. 10 minus 2, that's 8, minus 4 is 4, minus 1 is 3. So we press 3, and there it is. So we have 17 minus 5 minus 15, so that's 2 times 10 would make 20. Press that one, and we have 20 minus 5 is 15, that makes 14, times 2 would be 28, divided by 7, which would be 4. So we press the 4 button. And we get ourselves some items that... We have the item to the secret garden key, and that's wonderful in its own right, presuming that we can at least even have the chance to find the stupid room here, if that'll do anything for us, although we're presumably getting close to a dead end. We can find the vault, which gives us lots of money, but we have no access because we have no coins, and we can dead end ourselves, or we can hope for the best. So I guess we'll hope for the best and watch as this run quite possibly comes to an abrupt end. because this game hates us and it wants me to suffer. It's what again, and it can join the club of life as it continues to find ways to ensure that nothing but misery awaits me. And we could use the special key to find use the secret garden key to does not fit, which would just be super spectacular if it did, but it doesn't. So alas, here we are. We'll use this, and for once it worked. My God, it actually worked. We weren't expecting this, but now we have no option but to dead end ourselves by going into the closet. So we'll come in here and worthlessly pick up an item or two, and then mosey on our way. Presumably this would have two the shoes. We pick up the running shoes, which is just wonderful and super spectacular, and now we can look and see that there's probably nowhere else we can even go. We can go, we have 19 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and then that gets us there, and from there we can figure out anything else to do. We can presumably try to get ourselves to the dining room and mess around, and then go to the garage to get back outside if we want to try and get steps. So maybe we'll do that just for the sake of having anything to do, anything at all, just some way to keep playing this game and pretend like we're making progress. I mean, this amounts to nothing. We've discovered no new clues. We've found no persisting items. We have no way to save our items. This is just a bunch of nonsense. This whole house is a bunch of ridiculous nonsense. We can't accomplish anything in here. It gets to a point where you start wondering, what's even the point? Why are we even trying? Why do we try anything? Why does anyone try anything in this life? It's just a whole cacophony of mistakes, one right after the other, as we try to make sense of life and try to make sense of why we're bothering with anything that we're doing at all. And it's just it's exhausting, and we wish I could just find the sweet release of death, or at least a nap right now. Like, my God. So we found our way here, and we can go ahead and go back up to the dining room like we talked about, and see if we can get ourselves a free meal at least. And it's nice to know that we gained ourselves a pizza, and that's something better than nothing. If you have a furnace in your house, we do have a furnace in our house, so we get lots of steps, which will largely do nothing for us, considering there's nowhere for us to go. But we can perhaps go outside or go to the commissary and see if there's anything fun or amusing for us to purchase, and see what that gets us here. It's hard to know what the salt shaker will do for us, but we can grab that and grab some gems just in case, and it's impossible to know. To know what it'll be worth. And I mean, we can just grab some and see what happens with those, and then the commissary just leads to the dead ends of the thing. And so we'll come back here and go out through the garage. We can go check out and see what's around back here, if there's anything worthwhile. And seems unlikely, because everything is just always kind of blocked off and horrible and upsetting for us. We can't go through this gate, which would be wonderful if there was something fun and new to discover, but it appears there is not. And we've got 30 steps, so we can go around, maybe check out the orchard, see if there's any dig spots over there, and see if there's anything at all we can gain from this. Probably not. It seems unlikely. We have no way to. It seems unlikely that the lockpick will work on the basement key here. As we try to figure out how to go down a spiral staircase. Come in here. Special keys. Garden key is unlikely to work. And lockpick is not there, and a regular block key won't work, so we sit here and accept our disappointment and try to convince our guy to just calmly walk up the stairs, even though he seems like a little menace that would do everything as awkwardly as he could possibly figure out how to do it. Storming around, wondering just how far the fall would be if we leapt off this cliff. Would we be able to get enough air time to really enjoy the feeling, or would it be so quick that we wouldn't get over the pants-pooping fear that first begins, and before we smack and find the sweet subtle ends of of such an aggressive departure from the mortal coil. Wonder if these thoughts are perhaps too dark for a situation like this, or if we can safely just recognize that this stupid game is going out of its way to not provide us the things that would really make things useful for us. It's like, is there not an item that could just make it so that we more frequently get the good rooms that we need for discovering these things? It's impossible to know. Everything about this situation is just impossible, and I can feel the spiral towards despair taking over again and again and again. As things get worse and worse, and we've accomplished nothing, and all for nothing. Perhaps we sit here and wonder, perhaps it was for the best that the last episode, or the last attempt at an episode, was all for nothing, and we deleted it, because it turns out it was indeed all for nothing. We have accomplished nothing. We have gained no items to bring back with us. There's nothing but broken doors and dreams. Broken doors and broken dreams as the world ends around us, and we wish we could leap, but we cannot, because the game has a predetermined, a pre-installed sense of survival in our character that we cannot control or change. So we come here and we look at this manor and we call it a day, because what the crap else are we gonna do? We call it a day. And we sit here and we wonder, what was it for? Was it worth anything at all? Seems as though it probably was not. Nothing to gain. Nothing gained. The Scarlet Manor. Not once could we make it take advantage of the experiment, because the game couldn't even find it in itself to give us the option of a green room that might give us dig spots. Although now that I'm thinking about it, we could have gone back to the Foundation at any point, but for all the good it would have done, all of those coins would have meant nothing to us, because we were not blocked off by lacking items, but simply by lacking fortune. Save and continue, and we'll try again. Not one lever was found. Not once. Not once did we find a lever. This is a disappointing turn of events, and I don't know that I wish for this game to linger and show us walking into the building. I know darn well where I am and what's going on, and I know darn well the disappointment that surely awaits us as we sit here and struggle against this like a fish struggling against a dragnet. And come in here and see the corridor or the spare room or the reading nook. These are both useless. We'll do the corridor, hoping that perhaps it'll have the chance of an item that the spare room likely would not. We see nothing, and so we'll go through here and see what we can find. Could find the storeroom and gain ourselves some items early, or the bedroom, which is likely to be useless, so we'll do the storeroom. Try to get ourselves items early. Of course, this time we don't have the good fortune of finding the shovel in the spare room. It'll only give us exactly what's promised and nothing more. Which is to say that it's going to give us nothing more than hollow promises that are unlikely to be fulfilled by a game that is unfeeling and indifferent towards our emotions. There's a chest over there to our left. We could get the office, but the office seems like it wouldn't help us all that much right now. Not as much as the parlor, just to get some gems early on. Perhaps we'll spend the key, hoping that it has something beneficial for us inside. Spend one key and gain 2 keys. At the very least, that seems helpful. We go and do, it's riddle time. We did the riddle beforehand. It was an easy one in this one. The gems are not in a box with a true statement. So it means that they would be in a box with a false statement. The statement on the blue box is as true as this statement. The gems are not in a box with a true statement. So, wait. Gems are not in a box with a true statement. Okay. This is upsetting. This is one that's going to require actual thought here. The statement in the blue box is as true as this statement. So if that one's false, and that's the same one, that means they're both false, which means that would be false, so we can't do that. So it must be that these two are true, and that would make that, but that's the same, so that would make all of them true. So that means that this one must be false. Statement on the blue box is as true as the statement. That one's false. So the keys must be in here. Huzzah and huzzah. And now we can afford to play this house's sick games. The closet, the bedroom, which would connect things. It was always good to have connections, or we could spend a gem to gain some items. We're moving along enough in the observatory that perhaps gaining items from this would be a beneficial thing for us. So we'll try it and see what we can get of it all. Everything is 50% off today. See flyer for details. This is nice, I suppose, in its own way. It's not what I was hoping for, but here we are. This is what we've been gifted, and everything 50% off. Offer valid at the following locations: commissary, kitchen, locksmith, and bookshop. All rooms that we have seen before, but are unlikely to see again this time. One, because the law of odds say that those are pretty rare rooms, and the game, you know, that follows it. But also because the game goes out of its way to make things as heartbreaking and disappointing for us as possible. The drawing room could potentially have that safe, but I've given up on ever understanding what the crap that stupid safe wants from us. The dates are incomprehensible. It's impossible to know, and it will likely remain impossible to know. Well, so this is our option for keeping things alive, doing the security room, and so we shall spend and go to the security room and see what we can find here as our ongoing. We'll start with this and enter this, and then the key card system. We want to do key card system settings. We want to set the security level to low because we don't have a key, so we can never go in, and nor do we have the ability to turn the thing off and make things safe for us. So we go to our one remaining room option. Dining room keeps things alive even if it blocks us from the foundation, but what good did the foundation ever do for us, especially considering it just gets us access to the basement, which going outside does the same thing for. So we'll do the dining room. See if maybe we get ourselves a free meal at some point in time. At least there's that, and the thought of a free meal is a nice thing. It's, after all, like in the real world, it's one of the few things that can make me not lament and be full of heartbreak when I have some sort of work function that expects me to go someplace overnight. And at the very least, in those situations, I get free meals, although even that kind of ends up falling flat, considering the free meals tend to be some sort of crappy sandwich bar because prices of everything keep going up, but they, you know, we don't have as the prices of things go up, and the desire to properly take care of us employees continues to decline. Perhaps we can redraw and see if anything more wonderful shows up for us. All dead ends, but we do get the locksmith and getting keys for sale, so perhaps we can spend the gem here and see if we get any interesting keys that would make it worthwhile for us here if everything's half off. 3 keys. Is this representing the half off, or? Okay, that represents the half off, so that's wonderful and disappointing all at once. Go into the drawing room, find ourselves access to the patio or the reading nook. The patio is the only one that will... Patio or pantry. Red gems in each green room, which we don't have, and we don't have a gem anyway. So pantry it is, and we'll just kind of continue. And grab ourselves an apple. For once, there's actually food in there. Of course, it's when, like, the apples are not particularly delicious. We can keep a secret passage. The gymnasium. The gymnasium seems like it's going to be our one option to keep things alive. So we'll do this and then see if we can gain access. Okay, and we're forced to use a key. And so it begins that we use our items. And we find ourselves again blocked off from anything useful. Commissary seems like the most... Well, can't afford that. So the chapel it will be. Losing items. Although perhaps now is the time for us to go back to the locksmith. Since we can... Since we have more money now, we've got 7 coins. now instead of just our 3. If we come over here, we could get ourselves a special key. Wait, why will it not let us choose a special key? There we go, thank you. See what special key they give to us. As we hear the sounds of the Lowe's key copying machine, then we all take our apartment keys to. Prism key. If you unlock the door with the prism key, you will draw floor plans of that same color. It's disappointing special key. It's not the special key that we had hoped to find, and so... But alack and alas, this is where we are. I'm going here now. Our expenditures don't make much sense, but that's okay. Come in here. Can do the office. No, actually we can't do the office. We can either do the spare room or the reading nook. We'll do the reading nook and gain a key. And hope that it serves us well as we continue on. We can use a key on this trunk and see if we get anything useful. Anything useful at all. Compass. More plans leading north. It's just, I suppose, beneficial in its own right. And we have some sort of map. We have a map. The treasure map. Show us that we want something. So if we go, we'll have to draw a picture here and try to remember this. It's a 9 by 5 room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. 3, 4, 5. Up. Connect it, and it starts us off at 1 from the 2 from the left. And that looks like maybe 4 up. 2, 3, 4. So we'll start there, and then it'll go through there, and there, and there, and there, straight up to there. Whatever awaits us at the X, presumably something good and useful. Though, if I remember from past iterations and having found the treasure maps before, it'll require a shovel, which we don't seem likely to find in this situation. We'll draft from the library and come in here. We can get ourselves we can at least order the new book. We can drafting strategy architectural digest volume 4 and see what that gets us on the next one, now that we have access to it. And we'll continue on. Laboratory, which would keep it alive. Conference room. Mailroom would kill things, kill the run. And the conference room gives us 2 access, and it's the only one we can afford anyway. And so we shall go through here. Find very little of value in the conference room. Lament, lament, and more lament. Commissary, the boudoir, gives us a couple re-rolls, perhaps a benefit to us in many ways, although questioning always persists on just how useful that actually will be, considering we have very few doors to gain access to anyway. A door with a lot of hallways would be nice. Can use a key or a special key. We exit, this is a purple one, so we could either get more bedrooms or we could just use a regular key. We'll just try using the regular key first and see what we get. And then we'll try to redraw and hope for something a bit better. Continues to be slightly disappointing, though the billiard room might give us some good items. We can find the treasure and see if we get anything. Of course, there's no coins this time around. This run seems determined to be a disappointment to us, no doubt. I've never seen this square before. It's 4 plus... It is unclear to me what that intends for us to do. Maybe that means just double? Nope. The square is confusing and makes no sense to me, so we can just kind of keep going through and trying everything until we find it. Figure out what in the world it wants us to do, because we cannot press the center itself. No. Or we try and it doesn't do anything. Or if it's, perhaps it's a multiplier times 3 or something. It's unclear what on earth this stupid center one is, and so we'll press buttons, and we press buttons and just hope that the game sees fit to grant us anything beneficial at all. Any hints, any good fortune, anything good for us at all. This run seems determined to be nothing but bad luck and sadness for us and disappointment. And so it is, and so it shall be, that we continue to just try all of these, and surely one of these will happen. So it's times 4, okay. So 4, so 1 times 1, or perhaps it's the whole thing times 4. It's impossible to know. We press 16 again. Continues to be this difficult. Maybe that's the last thing we do. So 5 times 4 would be 20 minus 20 now, and so it continues to be confusing and disappointing, to say the least. We do 20 minus 15 times, it doesn't, or 15. This doesn't make sense. It never makes sense unless that's, so 5 times, because if it would be minus 20, then it would be 0, which gives us nothing to work with, because 5 times 4 would be 20, and then we subtract 20, and everything is so awful and confusing and the worst, unless it's meant to be 5, because it just times it by itself. It was 4 every time. We get 2 keys. 2 keys is better than nothing, but it would have been nice to get something like a gem. We have no gems. We can't do anything. I can't do anything. This is a dead, horrible run. While drafting, you may spend gems to redraw floor plans. It doesn't matter for us. We don't have gems. This is a worthless run. It's a dead run. More keys. We have 4 keys and perhaps no doors to use them on. We come in here, we could just use a key. I'm looking for anything with lots of hallways and doors, and it continues to be nothing but a disappointment. Just try to redraw. Give me anything. Just anything at all. My God. Greater chance of finding items in green rooms. It's useless to us. We can't even afford it. Study. Spare room. Just keep it going. We can come up here. We get up here. It's a ring-a-ling. And what it means is presumably that the dinner is ready. If we check where we are here, and if we can use the key, it doesn't matter. This is a frantic sprint to the finish, and see what we find here, if anything at all. Anything at all. Just get the commissary. Everything's half off. Whatever. Who cares? Spend our 1 gem. It's not doing us any good. We can buy gems, and this is all we can afford. We'll buy a gem. Just see what that does for us. Wonderful. And we go over here and use a key and see what happens, because what else would we even possibly do? We could find the pool that then will lead us back down and keep things going, and also connects to the 1 room, and we have no way to access it at this stage, but that's fine, because who cares? We were never going to do it in anyway. Use that. Use the key. We'll just like frantically run around. We've got the boiler room that could keep things alive too, but we can't afford it. We can't afford anything. Everything is just the worst. Everything is miserable and depressing and horrible. And we find more keys. It's just going to give us keys and keys and keys and keys. And guess what? When you think you're not going to find a key anymore, you find a key. And it's just, there's so many keys. It's like there's some weird cryptic message being sent to us, but who can figure it out? Because there's no effective clues about anything. It's just nothing but chaos and disappointment and heartbreak. And we go through and we just continue on and race to our inevitable upset and disappointment over the fact that nothing we do is going to give us anything that would be beneficial. We'll just be lost in this horrible place forever. Horrible place forever, and we have no access to anything. This will be the demise of this run, because we have no access to the foundation or the basement or anything. We can't go anywhere. We have no things. We can go to the closet and watch us get gems or something, anything that's just not useful to us anymore, because we have no more doors. We have nothing to gain, nothing of benefit to us, nothing worth doing anymore. No reason to bother with our grandpa's house, this crazy old man who just did everything and enslaved these poor workers that just had to indulge him in his insanity, as addled, his mothball addled mind, just nothing but a few flies rattled around inside of him. We can come in here and see if there's anything useful at all. We come in here and see what it gets us. We've got the vault, and we can't afford it. We got the maid's chamber, the breaker box. We just might as well redraw and see. It gives us the locker room, but we can't afford it. We get the sauna. Tomorrow we'll start the day with extra 20 steps. Might as well get that and see if we can make the next run worth anything at all. Anything at all. We get the car keys. They don't even need those. They don't do anything for us. Who would leave their car keys in the sauna? Who even does such a thing? Who brings them in the first place? It seems like the steam would be such a great way to damage and destroy the key fob, and there's just nothing but insane lack of continuity going on in here. But wait, we have one more way to continue things. We have a door. A door that wasn't remembered before by me in my manic state. And we have more steps. Perhaps there's life to be had in this horrible approach to things. And we can see that. And we can see where the dining room leads us. And we forgot that we had this pathway. And there's life in it. And we could save that for our next episode, which will likely lead us to disappointment. But we'll do that. So for now, we'll say thank you. We'll say thank you so much for joining. We love and appreciate every single one of you. And we go, and if you're playing this game, be prepared for nothing but insanity and the own loss of yours as the game does everything it can. The game, it's all a game. A game meant to play games with your mind and make you just grow more insane by the minute. So be prepared for that. Love you, bye. It was not made up at all. That was 100% me not remembering that there was a door. It was not for the sake of drama and humor. I did not remember that there was a door still unopened there. And I'm so disappointed in this run so far that I can't even find joy. But we'll see if we can find joy when we play again.